You might think your cat enjoys the peace and quiet when you're gone. The stillness of the room, the empty couch, the soft hum of silence. It seems peaceful, almost comforting. But what if I told you that the way most people leave their cats alone, even with the best intentions, quietly chips away at their emotional well-being? Behind those calm, blinking eyes might be a swirl of confusion, loneliness, and even fear. Today, we're peeling back the layers of what really happens when you walk out that door and what you should never do when you leave your cat alone. Because sometimes, love isn't about what we give, but what we fail to notice. Meet Luna, a soft gray tabby with eyes the color of early morning fog. Her human Jess adored her deeply. Jess thought Luna was the definition of independence, calm, aloof, perfectly content with a window seat and a bowl of food. So, when Jess started working double shifts, she felt confident leaving Luna at home for longer hours. A filled food bowl, a clean litter box, sunlight stretching across the living room floor. What more could a cat want? But within a week, Luna changed. She no longer chased the feather toy or waited by the door. Her meals sat untouched. At night, the apartment filled with haunting, drawn-out cries, echoes of loneliness in the dark. It wasn't defiance, it was heartbreak. 1. Don't assume your cat likes being alone. We've been told that cats are solitary by nature, independent, mysterious. They don't need us like dogs do. But science tells a different story. A groundbreaking study from Oregon State University found that cats form deep, secure attachments to their humans, the same kind of emotional bonds babies form with their parents. When you leave, they don't just notice, they miss you. Luna's nighttime meows weren't random noise. They were her version of calling out in the dark, "Where are you?" That's how cats communicate distress. It's their way of searching for the heartbeat they've grown to trust. So the next time you head out, remember, independence doesn't mean indifference. Cats feel our absence in ways we can't always see. 2. Never leave without a plan. Jess thought leaving Luna with a big bowl of food and fresh litter would cover all bases. But here's what most people don't realize. Cats aren't built to self-regulate in human routines. A giant bowl of food can turn into overeating from stress or neglect because the food turns stale. And that once clean litter box? After a few days, it becomes a territory of discomfort. Cats are fastidious creatures. If it's dirty, they simply won't use it, which leads to accidents in unexpected corners. When we leave without a plan, we create chaos in a world cats depend on for order. Automatic feeders, timed water fountains, and scheduled visits aren't luxuries. They're signals of safety, tiny messages that say, "You're not forgotten." 3. Don't forget enrichment. Cats may sleep 12 to 16 hours a day, but sleep doesn't equal happiness. In the wild, every nap was earned through bursts of adventure, hunting, or climbing. Domestic life takes that instinct away. Without stimulation, boredom turns to frustration, and frustration often wears the mask of destruction. When Jess came home to torn curtains and clawed furniture, she thought Luna was misbehaving. But really, Luna was communicating. She was saying, "I have energy, curiosity, and nothing to do with it." A window perch with a bird feeder, a few puzzle toys, or a cat-safe video playing on the TV can fill those silent hours with life. It's not about spoiling your cat, it's about giving her purpose, even when you're gone. 4. Don't assume boarding is better. Jess eventually tried boarding Luna at a local pet hotel. She thought it would solve the loneliness. But for most cats, moving to an unfamiliar environment feels like being dropped into another planet. The smells, the sounds, the lack of familiar territory, it's overwhelming. Cats are territorial by nature. Their comfort is rooted in familiarity, the scent of home, the rhythm of your footsteps, the safe corners they've claimed as their own. Unless your cat needs medical supervision, home care is almost always the better option. A friend, neighbor, or professional pet sitter who visits once or twice a day can make an enormous difference. Sometimes all it takes is a gentle voice, a fresh bowl of water, and a few minutes of play to remind your cat the world is still steady and safe. 5. Don't ignore the signs. When Jess returned home after a week away, Luna didn't greet her. She hid under the bed. Her purring was gone. She stared with wide, unblinking eyes that seemed to ask, "Why did you leave me?" The vet confirmed Luna was physically fine but emotionally distressed, showing classic signs of separation anxiety, loss of appetite, over-grooming, restless pacing, and vocal distress. That was Jess's turning point. She realized cats don't always cry out in obvious ways. Sometimes, their silence is the loudest signal of all. Now, Jess never leaves without preparation. She uses an automatic feeder to mimic meal routines. She leaves soft classical music playing, familiar sounds that remind Luna she's not alone. She placed a bird feeder outside the window so Luna can watch the world move, and most importantly, she hired a sitter who visits daily, offering not just food, but companionship. The change was remarkable. Luna's meows turned back into purrs. Her eyes regained their spark. And when Jess returns from work, she's greeted not with fear or confusion, but gentle head bumps and a deep, satisfied rumble. The sound of trust restored. So, what should you never do when you leave your cat alone? Never walk out without arranging care, even for short trips. Never dump all their food into one big pile and hope it lasts. Never forget that enrichment, the joy of play, curiosity, and sight, is part of their well-being. Never mistake silence for contentment. And above all, never underestimate the bond you share. Because to your cat, you're not just the one who feeds or cleans, you're their constant, their safety, their heartbeat in the noise of the world. Every time you close the door, imagine your cat watching you leave. They might blink slowly, not because they don't care, but because they trust you'll return. That's the quiet language of love cats speak so fluently. A love that waits patiently and wordlessly for the sound of your key turning in the door again. If you've ever seen your cat act differently when you're away, maybe refusing to eat, crying at night, or clinging when you return, know that it's their way of saying you matter more than you realize. So next time, before you leave, take a moment, bend down, meet their eyes, let them know you'll be back. Because when it comes to cats, love isn't measured in toys or treats. It's measured in presence, in the quiet promise that even in your absence, they are never forgotten. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What do you do when you have to leave your cat alone? Have you ever noticed changes in their behavior? Share your story in the comments. Your insight might help another cat parent out there. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more gentle lessons about the minds and hearts of our feline friends. Because when it comes to understanding cats, every detail, every blink, every meow, every silence tells a story waiting to be heard.